Get ready to sail into the chilling waters of a real-life ghostly story that'll leave you spellbound. Imagine a crew hastily abandoning the ship, convinced it was doomed to sink. But the twist is that the ship had other plans. The SS Baychimo continued to aimlessly sail through Alaskan waters for over 30 years without a single soul on board. So join us in today's video as we unravel the gripping story of the SS Baychimo, and make sure to hit the subscribe button for more thrilling content like this. The ship's original name was Ånger Manelfen. It was built in Sweden in 1914 and was bought by a German shipping company. It was used as a transport vessel to trade goods between Germany and Sweden, but its ownership was cut short because after the First World War, it was acquired by the Hudson Bay Company as part of the German reparations, and this was when its name changed to SS Baychimo. Even though the ship's name was different, it was still used to transport goods, but this time it was stationed in Androssen, Scotland, and was assigned to sail across the north coast of Canada to reach Vancouver, BC. It made its first trip in 1921, and along the way, it stopped at several small island villages to trade furs, pelts, and other goods. The ship usually sailed in the summer to avoid the harsh winter conditions. For many years, the ship made several successful journeys and managed to overcome some unexpected storms. However, in 1931, its luck finally ran out. On the way to Vancouver, the ship stopped at Herschel Island to deliver goods on August 26th. Around this time, the weather showed signs of winter-like conditions. Despite the summer season, Captain Cornwell, in command of the ship, insisted on pushing through since he thought it was just temporary. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Things took a turn for the worse. On October 8th, the ship became stuck in the ice once more, and this time it seemed like the ice had a firm grip on it and refused to let it go. The crew was in trouble. The Hudson Bay Company stepped in, offering assistance by sending a plane to rescue them. Captain Cornwell and 14 of his crew, however, were not ready to abandon ship. They built a rough shelter nearby with company supplies, deciding it was better to spend the winter on solid ground rather than risking their lives on the shaky ship. Their daily routine consisted of maintaining the ship, keeping her afloat, and so on. And then, in November, Mother Nature unleashed a furious storm on them. When the storm finally passed, the Baychimo was nowhere to be found. Captain Cornwell and his crew assumed it had been destroyed by the storm. Disappointed, they began their journey back to Barrow, expecting to be transported to Vancouver. But a few days later, an Inuit seal hunter spotted their ship, which was trapped in ice near Skull Cliff, about 45 miles away. What a twist in the story. They rushed to find it, only to discover that the ship was far too heavily damaged. It was a difficult decision, but they salvaged what they could and bid farewell to their steadfast vessel, knowing it would perish in the icy clutches of the Beaufort Sea. So Captain Cornwell and his crew bid their final farewells to the SS Baychimo. This ghostly ship reappeared 300 miles east of where it was abandoned. Leslie Melvin discovered it on his way to Nome with his trusty dog sled team. That wasn't even the end of it. A group of prospectors discovered the Baychimo months later. Normally, ships abandoned in the perilous Arctic waters would succumb to the elements sooner rather than later, but not this one. People started thinking that some supernatural forces were guiding the ship. As sightings of it increased, they'd say it appeared as if an invisible crew was steering it away from trouble, navigating rocky shoals and hazards. In 1933, a group of Inuit were forced to take refuge on the ship after a freak storm trapped them in her hull for 10 days. These strange events contributed to the Baychimo's reputation as a cursed ship. Later that summer, the crew and passengers of a trader, a small schooner on a voyage, boarded it, but it vanished in the night after they finished exploring the ship, but she remained with them for the rest of their journey. The Baychimo reappeared several times more on the horizon, as if it were following them. Captain Hugh Polson tried to salvage the ship in November 1939, but his vessel was too small to safely take control of the much larger Baychimo. This was the last recorded boarding of the ghost ship. It was spotted several more times throughout 1939. Sightings slowed significantly during World War II and in the years following. It was thought that it finally succumbed to its long-awaited fate and was largely forgotten. But then, in March 1962, it was seen again floating by a group of Inuit. Its last recorded sighting was near the shore of the Beaufort Sea in 1969, when it was spotted drifting in thick pack ice. Its natural ability to stay afloat, unmanned, remains a mystery. The Alaskan government commissioned a project to solve its mystery, but nothing has been discovered so far. Only sightings of the ghost ship that have been recorded in history are known to us. How many others were able to explore the phantom vessel, and what did they discover? Was it a supernatural ship? How did it survive in the icy waters for so long? And did it eventually sink? Is she still out there drifting in some forgotten stretch of the Arctic, waiting to be discovered once more? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.